I am Srilata from MaxCure Hospitals. I am Chief Clinical Nutritionist. Today I am going to speak about diet in diabetes. Now the current burning problem in India is diabetes, and we Indians are capital city for diabetes in the world. So the incidence of diabetes is becoming very high in India. There are multiple reasons for that. One is sedentary lifestyle, the other is genetics, stressful life, and modernization of your food. So these are the multiple factors which influence your health, and overall the range of diabetic in India is becoming alarming like. So now the incidence of diabetes in India is around 72 million population, which is pretty high. And now impaired glucose tolerance, IGT, that is also becoming very high. Around 80 million population in India suffer from this IGT. Now how to deal with this is to have a stress-free life, that is by doing some yoga, meditation, or any other breathing techniques, anything like that. The second thing is that genetics, we cannot avoid it, but still it has a very small role to play. Very less percentage of it is carried. So the rest part of it is lifestyle management, which is pretty well we can do it. And the other one is dietary style, that is easy for us to do and which we are supposed to do, and more focus to be done on the diet. So let us talk about this diet, how to take this. When we think diabetes, we know so many notions that they should not eat this, they should not eat that. So exactly what a diabetic person has to eat is, in small frequent intervals, he has to take a high fiber, high protein, and a low calorie and a low fat diet. This is simple, that he has to take altogether 3 meals in a day and 2 snacks per day. Usually in the morning, when they take their cup of tea, coffee, if they are on the higher side of the weight, ensure that they take a fat-free milk. If they are normal weight, they can take double toned milk or toned milk. But the tea, coffee, sugar should not be added. It should be a sugar-free diet exactly. Okay, once in a while they can take small amount of sugars, but that is occasionally, but every day they are not supposed to take, to have a good control on the sugar. And when you consider their breakfast can be any South Indian, North Indian, or West, anything can be taken, but ensure that you take less carbohydrate, and the carbohydrate should be of a complex carbohydrate. That means it has more fiber in that. Suppose if they are taking a bread toast with butter, then immediately the sugar goes high. Some of you might be saying that I take a brown bread, I take a whole wheat bread, I take a multigrain bread. But if you look at the glycemic index of any bread, it is really high. So what you need to understand is, take any typical North Indian or South Indian breakfast which adds to lots of fiber. Let us say if you are taking a pesarattu, it has good amounts of fiber. It is having good amounts of protein. So with that you can take some ginger chutney or putana dal chutney or sambar, anything. And when you take idli sambar, we need to understand that idli is a very healthy food, and few of you have the notion that if you take idli, your sugars go high. But when we consider to the nutritional facts of idli, it is the best breakfast, which is authorized by WHO and UNICEF. So now when we prepare this idli, ensure that you use some boiled rice rather than the white rice rava, and also use those black whole gram, which adds to more fiber. And when you take idli, ensure that you are taking adequate amounts of sambar. Let us say if you are taking 2 idlis, ensure that you take a big bowl of sambar with lots of vegetables added in that. So that is going to maintain your sugars. With the high fiber, your sugars are under very much control. Likewise, if you move for your North Indian breakfast, if it is a roti, take 2 big bowls of sabzi. Your roti size should be of 1 palm. So if you are taking 1 palm roti, so you have to take 1 big bowl of sabzi or dal, and ensure that you add good amounts of green leafy vegetables to your dal as well as vegetables to your dal. If you are eating only vegetable, you can take it in a good amounts, but ensure that you season them or salt them and take it, rather than frying of vegetables. Likewise, if you take any chow mein or any noodles, your sugars will definitely go high, because they are really having high glycemic index, and more so your sugars will get increased and you go constipated. It is always ideal to take a traditional breakfast with good amounts of fiber in that. Now when you come to lunch and dinner, they are mostly similar. choose any whole grain which has good amounts of fiber. Like you can take brown rice, you can take wheat, you can take jawar, bajra, any foxtail millet, anything like that, quinoa. But ensure that your carbohydrate content should be on the lesser side, and your protein content, your fiber content should be really on the higher side. So if you take this much of your foxtail millet or brown rice or wheat rava or this size 2 chapatis, ensure that you take this cup of 2 cups of vegetable, this size cup 1 cup of dal, this size cup curd, and big bowl of salad vegetable. This is really important. So now these salads are going to keep your sugars under control. It adds to the satiety of your diet. You will not feel hungry. You will feel comfortable. If you miss salad in your diet, the 2 fulkas will be really less for you, and you tend to feel more hungry after 2 to 3 hours. So the protein in the dal will give you good satiety, good proteins and vitamins and minerals. And also dal has good amounts of fiber when you take it in the form of whole grams like soya beans, chana, rajma, chola. These have good amounts of B complex vitamins, iron, and very good amounts of fiber. Now, as I said you all, fiber is really important for diabetics. When you consider vegetables, try not to take large amounts of potatoes, and it is always ideal to avoid potatoes people who have uncontrolled sugars. If their controlled sugars are there, let's say if you are preparing a vegetable pulav or a mixed veg sabzi, you can add 1 or 2 pieces of potatoes, there is no issue. But as such, potato doesn't give us any amount of nutrition except the carbohydrates and sugars. So whatever the nutrients we have, it is on the peel of the potato that has little amounts of potassium. Anyways, many of us peel off potatoes, so there is no fun in using potato for a diabetes because that is going to increase the sugars. So potato, yam, these things should be avoided. But beetroot, carrot, radish, turnip, they have good amounts of vitamins, minerals and fiber. They can be taken easily. And carrot and beetroot should be within 100 grams per day. And green leafy vegetables are really important for diabetes, which keeps the sugars under control and also adds to good amounts of folate, B complex vitamins, vitamin A, E and K. So every day diabetic person should take at least 100 to 150 grams of green leafy vegetables. When we talk about fruits, the fruit should be little bland to sour, because the fruits which are sweet tend to increase the sugars immediately because they have fructose and sucrose as well as. So ensure that you take always a semi-ripened fresh fruits around 100 grams to 150 grams, let's say this size of fruit every day. Fruits which are tropical Indian fruits, like which are really sweet, like your custard apple, mango, banana, you can take them occasionally provided your sugars are very well under control. If they are uncontrolled, please do not take them, or minimize the quantity whenever you take them. Okay. And regarding the non-veg foods, all the diabetics should try taking the fish, which is really good for their heart as well as brain, which is really rich in omega-3 fatty acids. Dry fishes can also be taken as a source of calcium and vitamin D, but that should be occasionally. 300 grams of fresh fish is always allowed for the diabetics, and skinless chicken 75 grams per week, and red meat or lean meat, it is 75 grams monthly once or twice, and do not overdo on the quantity. Diabetics can always take whole eggs at least 2 to 3 per week. If the person is weighing on the higher side or is also having heart disease, he has to take less than 2. If he has no other ailments apart from diabetes, very well controlled sugar on the normal side of the body weight, then he can take around 2 to 3 eggs whole along with the yolk per week. But do not prepare a burji or an omelette. Try to take a whole egg in a boiled form or a pouched form. You get adequate nutrients and very less calories. We all have a myth that it has cholesterol, but you don't need to worry about the 200 milligrams of cholesterol what egg is also giving. We also can take up to 300 milligrams per day, because egg has many nutrients, approximately 22 vital nutrients. So we don't need to bother about cholesterol because we are eating 2 to 3 times in a day. And regarding salt, it is really important to minimize your salt in your diet. Try not to use more than 1 teaspoon of salt per day and half a teaspoon of salt per person per day if they are having high blood pressure. And regarding fluids can be adequate in quantity. You can take up to 2 to 3 liters of fluids every day. And always ensure that try not taking fruit juices because they are going to increase the blood sugars immediately. No soft beverages, no alcoholic beverages, and also any fruit juices. Always take fresh fruits, fresh salads, green leafy vegetables, and low fat milk and milk products, approximately 350 ml per day for non-vegetarians and 500 ml per day for vegetarians. Thank you.